welcome back to Monkey Hope Productions Survivor 49 recap. Welcome back. I guess this is our first time actually doing it on the new channel. It feels like forever since me and Jake have done something. You know, me and Vee, we were able to do AU versus the world and Traders, but it's been about a year since me and Jake have actually been able to do this. Is that right? Is that real?
Survivor 47. Survivor 47 finale. Yeah. 48 was the first season since 41 that I did not podcast for.
I think that was the same thing for me. No, that's not true. That's not true. We did the top 5 events for every so it's great to be here. I'm looking forward to what I think is going to be a solid season. You know, we haven't touched on the alleged people from this season that are going to be on 50. And we can kind of start there of these people know 50 is coming. And I actually thought that Jeff was going to allude to it the way he, like when they did the whole flashback thing, I thought he was going to say, and you guys have a special thing of because, you know, next season is season 50. Do you think that it is possible and or that people will be playing for 50 in this season?
I think that, yes, definitely. I don't think that I saw anything this episode, though, where I was like, you're clearly playing for it. But I don't think that, like, I think that's a very obvious, like, thought to have. Like, they know what's coming. It was announced before they flew out there. They know there's a chance one of them could be on there, especially if they, like, make a huge impression and like change the game or whatever.
Or give yourself a nickname.
Some shit that Jeff loves to hear or whatever.
I like the nicknames, yeah.
Yeah, if you give yourself a nickname, you might be if you were playing in a season.
Jake God.
Yeah, you're Jake God. You're Jod. You know, you're Jod. I think Jake God is too late. If you were playing in a season right before and you knew about it, would the goal still be to win? Or is it, okay, I'll just win next time? Let me go out there.
That is pressure on pressure on pressure. I would be sort of sitting quietly, rocking through the pressure of it all. And then 50 looming, I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd probably be first out because I'd overthink the whole thing. And I'd be one of those people that flames out. I can't remember the names. Drew, you probably can. Jake, you probably can. The people who freak out in the first episode going, and end up getting voted out early. That would be me.
And thankfully, that didn't happen here, jumping the gun by like an hour or two. That didn't happen with our first boot this episode. I felt like there were a lot of people that had their little flaws here and there, and there were a lot of people that had the main character energy, but no one stood out as far as like, oh, clearly this person's going to go home first. And I think that's what led to, I feel like, a pretty decent premiere, especially with the, let's call it tumultuous off season after the 50 cast gets released and how pissy people got over that and this pedestal that everyone put AU versus the world on. Jake, coming into this.
Just before you do that, Drew, sorry, can I just bring up some comments?
Yeah.
I just want to say, Danica, I haven't watched yet, so I'm not going to tune in right now. Is this going to be the regular scheduled night to do the live chat? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you go watch it, and then come back, next week. Anyway, Drew.
Go onto Mucky's channel and watch
every
video after.
There's your homework.
Oh shoot, I forgot where I was going with
Sorry,
that.
Drew.
Oh no, you're good. Jake, do you remember what I was trying to ask? I can't think about it. I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point. Oh no, what did you think about everything going on in the off season? What were your expectations going into the season?
Yeah. So of course, I mean, are we gonna talk about the elephants in the room?
Yeah, the alleged elephants.
It is technically alleged, but it's Redmond. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
he's gotten it right. Rizzo and Samantha are alleged to be on.
I thought it was, it's not Savannah.
Samantha. There's too many S names.
Yeah, but I thought it was Savannah.
Two Sophies, whatever. Rizzo and the S girl on the red tribe are on 50, and I had my eyes on them. I mean, Rizzo, of course, made an impression. I mean, when you call yourself the Riz God in the year 2025, then that's a word that people say now. So, of course, he's making an impression, but he's not as over the top as I thought he would be. He was. He's like, he comes out and he says, "I'm the Riz God, and I'm gonna win this game," And then he was very like kind of humble and like very like kind of sweet, towards his family and talking about his backstory. I thought that was a little bit surprising. Samantha.
It's Savannah. It's Savannah. I'm just trying to double check and make sure there's no Samantha on the season. No, it's Savannah. But yeah, there are Savannah, Sophie, Shannon, Sage. Yeah.
Two Sophies.
It's Savannah who we're talking about.
Savannah. My apologies. I can see the potential with her. She's giving off evil.
She gives off Tori vibes from 42.
Yeah. I see more potential in her though than I did with Tori, and I can see she's got evil queen energy.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, and Vee brought this, or somebody brought this up. Oh, I think someone brought it up in the chat. A lot of the pre-game drafts that people release, everyone's kind of picking Rizzo or Savannah to win. And it's like, yeah, that's the double-edged sword of you releasing the cast early, is the fact that, if we have two winners on a returnee season and we have 3 tribes, there's probably going to be a winner from this season on there. Now, I texted Jake this when AU versus the World was airing. I was like, what if Sari wins this and she's actually the 3rd winner? And but then what happened. Spoilers, she doesn't win again. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, it's either going to be one of these two. And I do think that they got a lot of screen time to start off, this season. I also feel like, and I want both of you guys to chime in on this. I feel like people went into the season wanting to hate these two specifically because they're stealing a spot from one of their favorite people. Is that fair? I know that's a very loaded question, but is that fair to put all of this on these two people without knowing a single thing that happens in the season?
Of course not. I mean, there are, of course, so many people I wanted on 50 that did not get on 50. And yeah, when I saw that there were 2 people from 49, I was pretty upset. And when I saw that there were like 1 million people from 48, I was also pissed. But I have to give it a chance. And so far, I'm liking what both of them are bringing. And I'm giving it a chance. And I can say so far, if you had to choose 2 people from the season, I can see why it was those 2.
Yeah. Vee?
Yeah. I think everyone who's saying that would, what are they going to do? Say, oh no, we're not going to do it because someone is more deserving. No, you get cast, you do it. So everyone who is complaining about that would do it themselves. So
if we all got up there and played 49, we would want to be there 450, and we would be pretty pissed if we get back home and it's like, oh man, who the hell is, who's coaching, who's Jake? Like, who are these people? It's like,
I'm gonna hate watch. Hate watch this next season.
They don't deserve it over.
Yeah, that would make me so sad. Yeah. Actually,
you haven't, and I do feel like there's going to be a certain part of the population of the fandom that no matter what happens this season are just going to, I feel like mostly Rizzo, they're probably going to, that more of that hatred is going to go towards Rizzo because of the nickname, and like, you can, look at him, like, what he's so annoying, he's this, he's that. I feel like a lot of that hatred is just kind of it's really like very Ryan from HHH ish, where
Is
it's like
he the youngest?
He got a lot of online hate, and I wasn't a big fan of him, but I feel like that's where we're at with Rizzo, and I liked every piece of content that we got from him in this episode. And starting off, we can start at the beginning of the episode. The marooning. V, before we went live, you mentioned something, and I kind of want you to mention it again because I feel like I share that sentiment. How are we feeling? How are we feeling as the episode starts?
Well, what I was saying to you and Jake was it did feel a little bit like a Jeff Probst meet and greet in terms of the level of excitement. And Jake made the point that he's glad that Jeff Probst actually called who was it out? Steven?
Steven, yeah.
Yeah, called him out like this. This isn't The Price is Right, because it felt like The Price is Right. It felt like they were all running and like and it's just like and it makes me long for like the old school Survivor where they're just sort of wandering on and they don't know what they have in store. And so it grates on me a little bit, but that's just me. It's like I want them to get over it and get into it.
And I guess my thing has always been these situations happen all the time. Like I'm assuming 1 through 50, everyone. I mean, we see it in season 4 with Sean hitting the beach and he's crying and like this is a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with you that at this point it's like, okay, it's kind of played out. Like we understand what the show means to you because we're only casting super fans. We understand you guys are our proxy, but we don't like. We're 9 seasons into this era of Survivor. It's like, yeah, I've had my proxy on screen for five years at this point. I get it. I don't need you to say how much this means to you anymore. Like we understand. But I do. Obviously, it's always gonna resonate with me because that is awesome that you made it. Jake, how are you feeling? How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way, as in like we get it. Like everyone who applies, like of course you're excited to be. Nobody's being brought here against their will. You know, like this is something that they're actively like very excited for. Like, of course, but yeah, you're right. It's played out, but I personally thought that this episode, and I was saying this before we went live as well. I felt like there was some balance to it, where like Jeff calling that guy out, you know, other people being like, you know, I'm here to play, you know, like let's get down to business. I felt like there was some good balance, and also I feel like this is just kind of how every premiere is. There's a level of awkwardness that you just have to cut through. And like kind of a little bit cringy, you know, like I always have this phenomenon where every season since I can remember that comes on every year, I'm always like, am I that excited to watch this season? Like, I don't know. And then I watched the first episode. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in. You know, it's kind of like that where it's like, the first episode is like, okay, we're just getting to know these people. They're going to kind of show their like awkwardness. Like they haven't gotten comfortable in front of a camera yet. You know, like they're just now like getting into game mode. So I agree, but I feel like there was some stuff to offset it.
Yeah. And one of the big things that happened during this marooning that has never happened before is I believe Jason says, hey, you know what? I'm going to pull back the curtain real quick and say, hey, I didn't know until last night that I was going to be playing. And I know there's another person on the tribe that was in the same boat. And this is another thing that happened kind of in the offseason, like that kind of got leaked in the offseason of, hey, we had 2 people and this, that, and the other happened. And all of a sudden these 2, and I know Jeff brings it up on his podcast. If I listen to it, I know exactly what happened, but we get this moment, and I do. This is one of those moments that I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool that they let that happen and they showed it. They let the audience know, hey, this is something that happened last night, and I think that there's a lot of things that happened in this episode that it's like, oh, that's cool that they showed, or they didn't. they didn't hint towards the fact that someone's going to throw up later. Like usually they like leave little seeds or whatever, and all of a sudden something happens. In this episode, things would just happen fluidly. Like they would kind of catch me off guard, and it was fun, for lack of a better phrase. Anything else on the marooning before we get to that first reward challenge?
Well, I just want to bring up the epic montage that occurred with the epic Jeff Probst. I feel like the epicness was lifted up a little bit. And I do want to see how you're doing, Drew, after that coach jump scare during that montage.
And this will probably be the first time of many that I say this during this recap podcast that we do over the next 14 weeks. If Coach wins Survivor 50, I'm never watching Survivor again. I've now said it on every platform that's like I'm not watching Survivor. But that's what, and I think this was the moment that I thought that Jeff was going to bring up. Hell yeah, you guys know that next season is like a big deal because they were showing all these flashbacks. And yes, Coach shows up, but there's a couple of other people that are going to be on 50 that show up in those flashbacks. I think Ozzy pops up at one point. We're still throwing Gabe's the running gag with Gabe for what, a year, 2 years almost. So when I did the last marathon is I have an obsession with Ozzy. I don't have an obsession with Ozzy, but whatever. So yeah, the montage was what it was, but I obviously thought that was going to lead to Jeff just pulling back the curtain even more and just saying, yeah, next in 3 weeks, a lot of your favorite players that have ever existed, plus maybe two of you, are going to be here playing on the same beach.
How would you have felt if he did that?
That would have been really cool. Like that would have been cool. I don't know. Because it would have been different. Yeah. Like how would you have felt like in like Samoa if they would have been like next season we're gonna do heroes versus villains? I
feel putting that out there.
Russellness would have been turned up to 11.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I'm good. But I get your point. If we're a production and we're telling everyone, yeah, next season is this. Once it brings us back to the initial thing I started with this of, do you play for screen time and hope that they bring you back, or do you play to win and just say, hey, maybe my winning game is enough to be brought back? And I probably would still take this. I would still take the win over the screen time because it's still $1 million. But that's just me.
I do the same.
How are we liking the challenge?
What was the challenge again?
Challenge?
The reward challenge. Reward challenge.
They will bleed into one for me.
Yeah.
I don't watch. When I watch with my husband, he watches for the challenges. He loves that, the Ninja Warrior type stuff, loves that. I do tend to vague out during the challenges, so I'll defer.
Honestly, I mean, I have no notes on the challenge, except for who wins. But like outside of that,
is this one where they had to ring the bell?
Yes, it ends with them ringing the bell. Yeah,
I thought it was kind of. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird.
We get our first people talking about Jake moment in here, where Jake during the marooning, hey, I'm from Canada. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later because of other things. But I'm from Canada. My dad is losing his eyesight. Blah blah blah. He's a Chippendale or a Chippendale adjacent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something similar to that. But when he takes off into the woods, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's." I think was he a Greek god? I don't remember the phrasing. That
called him the Walking Hulk.
The Walking Hulk, okay. Which is stupid because the Hulk walks.
Yeah, I know. I said the same exact thing. So
the Hulk runs, so he's a slower Hulk.
I'm sure Hulk can walk.
Yeah.
But we get Jake, and that's going to be really fun this season until he gets voted out. But that we have both Jakes. My thing with Jake is, if he were not Canadian and he didn't have the accent, a lot of the stuff that he was either doing or saying, you'd be like, I'd roll my eyes at. But even with the shoe, the fact that he's like, hiding the shoe basically in plain sight. Just I'm gonna put it off a little bit to the right here, like not burning it, not burying it, or like he just hides it so that it's easily findable. And he's the bandit now. It's a lot of the stuff that he would do just came off as so wholesome, despite the fact that one, it is sabotage, but two, because of the accent, he just comes off as I think I love him.
I love him too. I think he's probably my favorite from
So
the
far.
premiere. Yeah, and
And
there's no
that's
bias.
not usually the archetype I go for.
What's funny is like both Jakes that we've had in the 40s from 45, both have been my favorites. I thought Jake from 45 was like the best character that season.
And he also had a great accent.
He also had a great accent.
He also had a great accent. V, what were your thoughts on Jake here?
Well, I'm going to be the Australian in the room and say that I can't tell a lot of difference between the accents except for the sorry. Is it sorry?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Or sorry. When he was crying, sorry. And I'm like, don't say sorry for crying. You cry. I did think the shoe thing was a little bit of a season 50 kind of gimmick to put himself on the. It did scream a bit gimmicky to me.
Okay.
That's fair.
So I was a little bit like, okay, it's like if he wore a feather on his head or something like that. Like with, it was like,
Yes.
okay. But no, he seems good. And look, my cousin is a Thunder from Down Under in Vegas. So the like Australian version of the Chippendales. So I do have a soft spot. We have a family tradition of those kind of dances on both sides of my family. So I do
You
have
have
a
a magic
spot.
Mike in your family.
We have a Magic Mike in my family. He is now in his 50s and no longer Magic Mikes. But, so I do have a soft spot for those guys. So, yeah, but I want to see more than just hiding the shoe.
I mean, I don't want him to go more extreme, but like, yeah,
No.
I do feel like, and honestly,
And what else?
I thought
Get this. He hides another shoe.
he hides another shoe.
Yeah.
If that is his entire storyline, it'd be
Yes.
hilarious. But also, I'd be like, damn, all right, you really did just stop at hiding shoes.
He's just got a fixation on shoes.
Yeah.
So we do
Yes, I
we do
do.
get to a point where the two tribes have to send folks to an expedition. And before we get there, I do want to point out that, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, there were no advantages, no lost votes. There was nothing, no type of kooky twists this episode outside of what we're going to talk about later. The challenge, the puzzle challenge.
The journey.
That's the
In my
sharing.
notes, I called it the journey because
Yes.
they didn't call it a journey, but I
It was a journey.
called it a journey.
But it was
in my notes.
shared. Like, no, everyone had their vote. There was no idle nonsense. There was just the game, and at least we got to spend time with two of the tribes. The yellow tribe they kind of just glanced over. But we get oh man, it's gonna take about a week for me to learn everyone's name.
I have it right here because I'm not going to be able to remember.
I really should do that as well. I'm gonna do that right now.
Is it? Oh yeah, we get Alex and Rizzo. We get Alex and Rizzo.
Yes.
Alex.
And Rizzo straight up says, "Hey, I hope it's not a puzzle." But even before that, when they're in their
He says if it's a puzzle, I'm cooked.
yeah, yes,
Some Gen Z slang for you.
But no one wants to go. Like in both of these groups, everyone's kind of just saying like, I'd rather not. I don't want to do this. And I get it. I get, especially day one, those bonds. So we'll go both of you as how would you perceive that? Like if you go into that situation, if you're in that spot, do you immediately say I don't want to go? Do you potentially wait and see how other people react? How are you guys going about it?
I mean, the idol of it all But it's hard to hide an idol that you collect on a journey. That would interest me, but there seem to be no idols available on this. Maybe that's why it wasn't called a journey, because there were no idols. But that would attract me. I don't know if it would attract me on the first episode more so than being with my tribe and making those initial connections. So the first one, I probably wouldn't be as keen, but as it went on, I probably would. But first one's tricky.
Yeah, first one, no. I am doing anything I can not to go precisely because of what she just said. You do not want to miss out on those initial moments right away on the beach. I was shocked that Alex got so lucky that Jake has got this weird like fixation on him. He's talking to Sophie in the jungle. He's like, yeah, me and Alex, we're in a bromance, even though we haven't even spoken yet. I'm like, what?
We don't see that until after he gets back. Like, there's just this bromance that we know nothing about until he gets back to camp.
I don't think we see a single confessional from Alex where he's like talking about Jake, other than like, yeah, me and Jake are in an alliance with Sophie and eventually Jeremiah. But you know, Jake is like, Alex is my boy. We're in a bromance. I love that guy. And then they show like all of these montages of him like doing anything he can to hug him, hold hands with him. This guy, he's something else.
Yeah, Jake's gonna be. It's not quite Giga Chad from 48 yet, but like
yet.
But even then, I eventually came around to him in the finale. So. But like Jake from the jump, just he is that third big character outside of Savannah and Rizzo here in the episode. But we do get to the journey, and Rizzo has a great strategy, and gets to that win. And there's no way that Alex can not. Like, he can't mess up his puzzle because he can't find where the bag is. At a certain point, I guess, at what point did you guys figure out, oh man, maybe Rizzo was actually going to win this?
When he said, like, when he initially dug and you couldn't find it, and I'm like, okay, you should know, like, right away, you finished the puzzle. Like, you see where the X is. Like, because at that point, he's like, okay, I'm just going to start digging in random places. Okay, so then you just wasted a bunch of time grabbing all those coconuts and putting together the puzzle because now you're just at the same exact spot you were before. So at that point, I'm like, Rizzo, like, why don't you just go start digging in a bunch of other places if you're still struggling putting together the puzzle? Unless there was like some rule where you had to finish the puzzle first. I don't know.
That's what I wondered, Jake, because the spot to dig, it was between two logs for both of them. So if he didn't have to do the puzzle, he could have seen, well, I have two logs. Alex has two logs. On his map, it says it's between the two logs. It's probably going to be the same on my map. So I'm just going to start digging the two logs. I think he probably had to finish the puzzle.
That's probably
because
right.
Otherwise, why would you?
Yeah. So yeah, with Alex, I'm like, okay, I don't think he's gonna win it after he finishes the puzzle, he sees where the X is, he digs there, and it's not there. Which, by the way, did they ever show? They should have shown like where it actually was.
Where it actually was? I don't think they did.
Yeah, they should have, because that would have been really funny.
I think Gabe has it right. I don't think he dug deep enough. I think that was the issue, because there wasn't a huge amount of if it was.
Yeah, it was in like a little grid. It's in this grid. You could realistically go out there and do like that. And like Jake said, maybe there was a rule that you have to finish it first. But like, it's not like he's working with a lot of space there.
No. And I think Alex just overthought the whole location. Like, the location was more complicated than it was, because when you look, it's sort of like a big X on between two logs, and it will sort of going towards one side or the other, but he kept going back and checking, and I'm like, it's not that complicated. It's not like there's a tree and then there's a rock and it is an X in the middle of two logs.
It's not like those like idle maps that you find where it's like it's in this specific underneath this specific tree's branch, you know. It's like take 5 paces this way and then 4 steps that way. No,
what's a pace?
He was overthinking it. And he could have just gone. He was overthinking it, so he didn't destroy his puzzle because he kept referring.
No, this is my secret
using it as a reference
that I must not destroy.
Yeah. And like, he did do the one moment where he tried to protect it, but like, if I'm Rizzo, it's like, okay, I'll just wait till you go away again.
Yeah.
And then I'll come and try to match my pieces, which I've never, you can just match your pieces. And then he still has a head start because Rizzo forgets a coconut off to his right or left or wherever it was, and he still gets it. And and Rizzo's narration of this entire scene, he grew on me. Not that I came into the season not wanting to like him, but it's like he grew on me as a character in episode 1. I know his name without looking at my notes because of things like that, because the Riz God thing. But like there was a lot of moments in this episode where it's like, okay, I know this guy. I feel like I know this guy, you know, and I won't say I relate to him, but like he's fun. So Rizzo obviously wins the challenge. You feel bad for Alex, but it doesn't seem like, at least from what we're shown, it doesn't seem like his tribe, I won't say cares, but no one's saying, oh, what if he's lying about this? Or what if he has this? Or what? It's all good.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. I thought, maybe, is it because it wasn't called a journey? No one seems suspicious. At least not in the confessionals. Or maybe they didn't want to show it because it wasn't a journey.
I think it might be that, because paranoia is a hell of a drug, especially on this show. So like, I would have to imagine someone was like, oh, nothing? You didn't get any, like, tell that story again? But at least from what we're shown, it doesn't seem like anyone is overly paranoid that he didn't come back with anything. That he did, like, we don't even get to see him where he like tries to empty his pockets and say, hey, I'm good, which is great. Quickly, and I know I'm talking to. How do we feel about Matt's dreads?
They're there.
Okay.
They exist.
They're definitely there. I want to talk about, because I do feel like my proxy, Steven. I know we don't spend much time with the Yellow Tribe, but Steven has this moment where he's talking about, he's a short king, basically, or he was a short king. I think he might still be a short king. And he doesn't want people to vote him out because of this. And as a short king, that really resonated with me. We don't get much like in the form of story time with a lot of the people in this tribe. I don't think any outside of that, and Jason's moment where he's on the beach. Are there people standing out right now, basically, that you guys are kind of relating to with the limited one episode thing that we have so far?
There's a guy named Jake.
There is.
There's a guy. Well, the Jake Magic Mike story, that endeared me because I do have that family history. But no, look, and I'm such a pessimist that when I hear a sob story on the first episode, I'm like, okay, so Stephen was bullied in school. Like, who wasn't, sir? Like, I was like, okay, I don't know. The dad losing the eyesight. Okay, I don't know, but you know me. I hate a family visit. I hate
when it gets sad story.
Oh yeah,
he did with his wife's giving birth while he's gone.
Yeah,
that sucks. That truly sucks. That
really
is definitely a Sophie's choice, so to speak, because like, I don't know what I'd do in that situation if I had a partner giving.
I was going to say, well, in that situation, you would really be in more of a Sophie's choice situation. Do I have this baby or do I go play Survivor?
They did not let that happen.
But I was thinking about Jake, and I'm like, yeah, you made the wrong choice, man. You shouldn't be here.
The thing about that that's interesting is like, I mean, I remember Millennials versus Gen X at the reunion. Jeff is talking about Adam with his mom. She was diagnosed with cancer like right before he left to go out, and Jeff said, "We gave you the option, like." If you want, we can put you on next season. Like you go deal with your mom. You know, like that's to me that's interesting because I mean I feel like it's people have stuff happens in your life a lot. So there's of course a very high likelihood that some big event or some thing is going to come up when you are about to leave for a month or so. You know, so if they just like gave accommodations to everybody, then they would just have like the cast outlook for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I doubt that they gave that offer to Jake, but yeah, I'm curious if like he talked about that at all with production. He's like, yeah, dude, my wife is pregnant and she's her expected due date is like right when we're about to leave. You know, she's probably going to give birth after, you know, while I'm on the island. You know, that is, I would be very curious to know, like, if there were any discussions with, like, production about that, because we know from the past they've offered, like, if you want, we can just put you on next season. We'll save you a spot, basically, you know?
Well, and it always goes back to All Stars and how much I hate it. But, like, I always go back to the Jenna moment, where everyone's sitting there like, oh, well, why'd you come out then? Or like, why? Basically making her feel like a bad person on her way out because she came and played instead of staying with her mom. And in this situation, like, thankfully, the players have grown, and I feel like fans have grown too. Because I remember Adam got a lot of hate for that. It was like, oh, your mom's dying and you're just gonna go play again. It's like, okay, guys, like this game meant something to him and her. Like I never understood the hate. Like I understood that people were like, why'd you do this then? But the hatred that kind of came with it. I don't see Jake getting any type of weird hate here. It'll be like, you could have chosen option B, but like whatever, it's your life. I personally, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. And I don't know what my potential wife one day would want me to do, because that would go into the conversation like, hey, can I please go do this? Are you going to hate me forever if I were to go play in this silly game for 26 days plus a few more? So yeah, that's just a weird tangent that we just went on.
Well, as the only person on this here that has had a child, I will say I wouldn't have wanted my husband to go, because, and that's why I say I think Jake made the wrong choice. It is one of those life things that is a once in a lifetime life thing. And I think as a first time parent, and perhaps he doesn't have kids, what I didn't realize is that it's supernatural those first few days, weeks, and it's something you never, ever, ever get back again. And you can't replicate it. You can't, even with your second child, you don't get it back. So I guess he doesn't know what he's going to miss out on. Yes.
Yeah, if he was the first
he might get there.
His wife would have slapped him silly.
Yeah. Sneaks back into the States, is like, okay, yeah, I may have messed up. But we haven't talked about the real Jake storyline. We've touched on it, but the Jake bromance, which we get, I think, 2 montages for, or at least a montage and a half. And everyone knows, like, this is not a secret on their tribe at all. Everyone knows that these two are together. I have a feeling that a couple of the moments that are shown are probably from things that happened later in the season, or, you know, a few days later. This is a fun dynamic duo, but they've been clocked day one because Jake told people that, like, going into an alliance, he straight up says, "Oh yeah, just okay, yeah, we're this like just." So
I have a crush on Alex. Don't tell him.
I'll always vote with him. I'll never vote against him. Don't even try.
Yeah. So we've got two buff dudes, or relatively buff. Is there a sense of comfortableness knowing, hey, they're probably not going to vote us out right now because of the whole tribe strong thing? Let's just tell people that we're together. Or do you think it's just a bad play of let's tell people we're together and just hope they don't try to split us up?
I think it's probably the former. I think they realize, like, we lost that first challenge. That sucked. And I mean, even more, especially after the second one that they lost, I think they're like, yeah, they're going to want us around. I mean, if they're going around calling you Hulk, you have to like really, really grind their gears or like do something really bad and untrustworthy to like get them to turn on you. I mean, we do see, Annie kind of float that out of like, hey, you to Sophie, you, me, Jeremiah, like let's stick together, us three, and take out Alex and Jake later. But I think that Jake knows that Sophie wants to work with him. She sees him as a meat shield. I don't know if he knows that, but I think it's he can sense that like, okay, she wants to work with me. I don't think she's gonna turn on me. So I think that's part of it too, where it's like, I've got three, me and him and her. Yeah. So that's three. That's not majority, but that's safe. So I think that's where the comfort comes from. Also, I think that he just wants to. I think he just really, really likes this Alex guy.
He wants to be best friends with them afterwards.
He just wants to show it. He just wants to talk about it.
Yeah, that like just moments like that. They're putting flowers in each other. It's so over the top that you start to think, oh, maybe they actually are in it. Like, because like, come on, and especially if this becomes a running gag. At a certain point, I wouldn't be surprised if by like episode 5, it's like, wow, we actually have feelings for each other. Like, wow, that once again, it'd be something that comes out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, then Survivor, you really got me there.
Game changing.
We get to the immunity challenge, and their tribe loses. And we it kind of seems like everyone's kind of blaming Nicole, which I guess is fair. Whatever, challenges are dumb. But I guess is fair. And one of the I know I brought this up earlier, but when Nicole pukes, I audibly scream "Holy shit!" because I'm like, where the hell? Where did that come? We're not.
Why was that shown? Why do we need to see stuff like that? Anyway,
I didn't care because I've never seen something like that before.
I was very taken aback. I was like, "Whoa, that
was a power truck if ever I saw it."
That was bizarre.
And it had no build. It was just her talking about what she does for a living, how she's good at reading this situation. Let me ask all these people and let's see how they react. And all of a sudden it's like, and then I'm going to puke here. It's like, wait, what was that? At first I thought that I thought it was fake. I thought that she had done something to get people to take care. And then I realized, oh no, that was a real moment. And we're just going to kind of move on from this because I don't even think it gets brought up during Tribal. I might be wrong.
No, I don't think it does.
It just kind of happens.
Is that the edit trying to make that her personality?
That she's a throw up?
That
she's
she
a puker? She's a puker? They could have done that. She could have been puking all episode if that's the case.
Yeah, they're like, this is why she deserves to go home because she just likes to puke everywhere. Yeah.
She wouldn't be the only person on the game to like weird stuff like poop.
I did like it. Was that Sage?
Sage, yeah.
She likes
poop.
poop.
I get good vibes from Sage.
Yeah. That red tribe is funny.
It's wild.
It's going to be something. And I hope that obviously, I hope that we get more time with the Yellow Tribe because we did kind of just glance over them and here and on the episode. But it does seem like they have some fun folk. But yeah, you can't compete with Riz God, Savannah, a person who likes poop, Cole who like is gone now, but like, and then the bromance. Like, there's a lot of storylines ahead of where you guys are at right now.
Yeah.
But I honestly, but I think potentially more so than the performance in the immunity challenge. I think Nicole had no connections, or as much as they showed. It was an easy vote for me. It was an easy vote based more on that than making her a scapegoat for losing the challenge.
Yeah, no, and that's, we can't blame that on 26 days because I feel like even if there were a couple more days, like that probably, and that's the hard part is you end up on a tribe, like you do all of this to get on the show, and you end up on a tribe where you actually just can't connect with anyone. And that, like, I know for me personally, I know that there are specific like pockets of people that I know I probably couldn't connect with, but I pride myself being able to connect with most people. And I know that if I ever got put in a spot where, oh man, I actually can't connect, like I would feel very down, like,
and vulnerable.
I actually can't connect with you. That's weird. I can connect with you.
Yeah. No, that's how I feel. And it kind of gets brought up too with like Steven on the Yellow Tribe, which Gabe is kind of talking about in the chat with him feeling really insecure. That kind of goes back to, the dynamics of high school and stuff, where he's like, sometimes like people just don't like you. They just don't. And of course, in this game, like they're going to lie to your face. Like even if they don't like you, they're going to act like they do. So you just don't know. And there's always a chance, like you'll just meet somebody where like you have just completely unsuspectingly, you're just like, oh, we do not like vibe. Like this is just not like clicking, and it's pretty like jarring sometimes. And that's like my biggest fear. And I think most people's biggest fear, aside from like starving on Survivor, is like getting out there and realizing, oh shit, these are not my people.
These are not,
and I'm stuck with them.
Yeah, we see it a lot, especially the last few seasons. The personalities just who was it? I want to say it was, I can't remember. Everyone was talking about horoscopes, and this is seasons ago. Everyone was talking about horoscopes and things like that. And they're just like, I don't care about any of this. How do these people exist? This, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, that would be me of like, I don't, why? Like, and
then you have to fake it.
You either have to fake it or you sit there and it's like, and make it, you outwardly show your disdain for it, which is probably the worst thing that you can do. You almost want to fake it because if you sit there and then people are like, oh, they're being standoffish, they're doing this, they're doing that. And we bring up horoscopes. Oh, goodness. We brought up there's never been a male Taurus to win.
Jeremiah.
Was that Jeremiah? Yeah.
Okay. As a male Taurus, I never knew that. Now I guess I'm obligated to root for one.
There you go.
That the fact that he put like that, when people call me a super fan or you, whoever, when they call super fans, like, okay, yeah, I'm not that super, like there are still super fans that are on a different level than all of us here, that anyone that podcasts about this, like there are people that know everyone's horoscope, like signs, that's ever played the game. Like I could never get to that point. Like I'm cool with it just knowing boot orders. I don't even learn tribe names, especially the like.
I can't. I mean, I'm struggling. You and me are struggling with the names already. I mean, I said a name that's not even on the season. I said Samantha. There isn't even a Samantha on the season.
You had me thinking there was actually Samantha on the season. I'm like,
I'm such a super fan. I'm gaslighting you into
thinking that. So like it's moments like that where I can point to people and say, no, I'm a very big fan. I'm a super fan. Whatever.
Mm.
But I'm not that, and I that's what I do
That's another
appreciate.
level.
Yeah, and I do appreciate the fact that there are people that exist like that, because that's something I could never be, and that's someone I can look at and be like, good for you. I wish I could be into Survivor to that point. I'm into, I don't know, I'm into baseball to that point. I'm into the show Lost to that point.
Yeah.
Survivor is probably, as far as obsessions, number 5 in my whole life, which is still pretty high, but not horoscope high. So Nicole, who can read people, and I honestly thought during all of this, it kind of felt like she was going to figure it out and flip the vote on. I thought she was going to flip the vote on Jake. I even texted my friends, I'm like, I think Jake might go here, and they're like, why? Just a feeling, and it went exactly how it was supposed to go. And it's a first boot, so like, that's my fault for having such high expectations that there was going to be something crazy. How do we feel about this tribal? Like, our first tribal set, amazing.
The whole mermaid thing with the immunity idols as well. Yes. Love that as a theme. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about this? Because they were kind of just sitting there saying it's between two people, and we're going to go with this person, and they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I felt like there was like 2 stages of tribal. The first stage was like, obviously like, oh, this is the first tribal of the season. And like Jake, I think it was Jake that was like, yeah, like this tribe, like I love everybody. Everybody loves each other. And Jeff was even like, really? Sure about that? And
aren't you hiding people's shoes?
Yeah. And then, they kind of like are like, oh, kumbaya, oh, it sucks. We have to vote somebody out. Oh man, so sad. And then finally Jeremiah's like, fuck it. Like, yeah, it's between 2 people. And then I think you could see it. Both Annie and Nicole were like, oh, yeah, it's between us. Like, it's one of us. And I was like super, super like confident it was going to be Nicole, because exactly like she said, it was Nicole had no connections. Annie at least had some semblance of like a small connection with Alex.
But then threw Alex under the bus.
The non-mom thing.
That was really funny. He was like really tiptoeing
she was like, you better not say mom. He's like, no, like teacher or boss or
like my boss is a female. It's like,
and I
just cut it. At that point, you just cut it and you just say, I get good vibes from you. That's it. Like, that's it. You just cut it.
It was so stupid of Annie to then bring Alex's name up. Annie, sweetie, that's all you've got. You've only got Alex. Don't be bringing his name up. Go to Alex and have a discussion. I think Annie will be going soon, because that was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Super bad. That along with, just like throwing out Jake's name as well. I just think that Jake is in a really good spot, and it's just like, that's just not going to happen.
It almost, so going back to the Alex thing real quick, it almost felt like, because he kept on rambling, it felt like he was going to eventually say mom, or he has a older woman kink. Just the way that he was phrasing it.
It was so uncomfortable.
Because he just kept talking like, is he hitting on her? It kind of if he's not hitting on her, then he is implying that she's a mom. So I would rather him just hit on her and get it out of the way.
And she's also only 49 as well. It wasn't, I think, 49. Anyway, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That's like, I don't know how old he is, but it's like you're trying to make something happen that's not happening. So.
Yeah, I'm double checking her age, but I don't think she's like.
She's not in her 60s.
Yeah,
or
she's
70s
not 80. She.
I don't know how old Alex is.
49. She's 49, and she looks good. 49 is not. Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
I'd like to say as a 41-year-old, 49 is not that old.
It's not.
But also, like, yes, she could be, depending on how old he is. Yes, she could be his mum. But drop the mummy thing. Just leave it. You're making it weird now.
Yeah, it says here Alex is 26, so she could be.
Yeah, quite reasonably, but it's weird, man. She's not vibing with the mummy thing. Let it go.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The second she said, "Please don't say mom," you drop it and you say, "I just get good vibes from you. Yes. I think we should work together."
You name every older woman thing that you could possibly think of
without saying older woman, aka
without ever actually saying older woman. It's like,
oh, dude.
Yeah, it was also she was
right.
like 32. She was like 32 or 33.
She was on the old woman tribe.
Yeah. I think she was the second, because I know was it Melinda? Who's the other one? One of them was like 31. So she was the second oldest person on the old woman tribe, and that's because someone was in their early 30s. So age ain't nothing but a number.
No.
But having said that, that was a weird Alex thing. Is there anyone else we want to talk about before we start to head out?
No. Just I don't understand why Nicole didn't play a shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
She looked to Alex for confirmation that she wasn't going. He said, "You're not going," and that seemed to be good enough for her. And I'm like,
there is some. Of course, there are downsides to playing your shot in the dark. Other than, of course, you just lost your shot in the dark. It shows, like, if you weren't the target, it's like, whoa, you're paranoid. You're like super untrusting of us. Like, what's up with that? You know. But when Jeremiah said it's between two people,
it's the first tribal where you haven't, and she hadn't made any connections, so there was no one to be shitty. That like, hey, don't you trust me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's between you and Annie. You play your shot in the dark, and to me, I was pretty surprised. Judgment. Yeah,
I was very surprised, given that she talked about using it. Like,
yes,
it felt like she knew in the back of her mind, like, there's a real possibility I'm gonna have to use it.
Yeah.
So she was so easily convinced that. So she must have been making friendships, but wasn't actually nothing deep enough to actually protect her.
Well, we get a lot of those moments with the rest of the tribe where they say, like, "Hey, we've got to lie our asses off. We've got to make sure that the plans," and that is something that I know is. Fans hate it when people just leak things out. I mean, I feel like as players, we would hate that too. And the fact that and I think that's why I thought something was going to happen, because they showed us, hey, we're not going to say anything, right? And I'm like, okay, well, if they're showing us this, that means that someone's going to say something. And it never happened. Like, it was as easy as, let's all vote Nicole. And I honestly thought that she was going to freak. But I really liked her final words. It's like, my family's just gonna bust my balls about this for the rest of my life. And it was wholesome again. Like, it was just like, a nice moment of, this sucks, but also you got me, and my family's gonna give me shit about it forever.
Yeah. So Nicole said she didn't use shot in the dark because she was reassured by Alex. Yeah.
And that's good on Alex.
Yeah.
Good on Alex to not break character and say, yep, this is exactly what's gonna happen.
Or just go, ooh.
Oh, maybe. Well, you?
No.
Well, the thing that I don't get is, I know I keep bringing it up, but seriously, Jeremiah saying it's between two people. Who do you think those two people are? Right? Like, it's gotta be Annie, obviously, because that's who she thinks that everyone's voting for. Who's the second? Jake?
And Annie also knew that, correct me if I'm wrong, she knew she was the decoy.
Yeah, they told her.
It's Christina from One World, or it's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
My name again, yep.
And I know people like to, when they tried to do that with Michaela in Game Changers, she was like, no, you can pick anybody. And everyone, I can't believe it. I was like, why can't you believe that she doesn't want her name out there? That's not crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm interested, and Vee, I know you said that you think she might be the next one out. If she's not, that would be a surprise. Yes.
Yes.
It would
Yep.
be a surprise. And I feel like the trailer kind of
Alludes
going
to
back
it.
to 47. We know the trailers love to just not.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of red herrings.
Mm.
But I do feel like this might be a real thing. So yeah, as we wrap up, I think it was a fine premiere. You know, nothing out of this world, but I feel like we learned a few of the characters. I think we got some very fun dynamics, I guess. We got a fun nickname. No, we got two pretty fun nicknames. The Shoe Bandit. And I'm really excited to see how this plays out. Final thoughts?
The season we all have to pretend to care about before 50 happens.
Before 50, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm gonna be invested in Rizzo and
Yeah.
Savannah.
Jake, it's just like how I didn't realize that Genevieve was one person. Like, because remember when she had glasses, when she didn't have glasses, I thought they were two different people.
Okay, I had to watch this episode twice where I was like, "There's a second Sophie."
Is there?
There's a second Sophie. There's one on the Blue Tribe, which went to tribal. She's the Latina woman with the one with just an I, no E.
Oh my
then
God.
on the Yellow Tribe, which
there is. Holy shit!
that's what I'm saying, man.
There's so many yellows who we wouldn't know because we didn't get yellow content.
Oh,
exactly. And I was like, I didn't know who MC was until I rewatched the episode. I was like, oh, that's your name, MC. Okay. And then same thing with Sophie and there's one more.
No one cares if you're
Christina.
a winner.
Basically the entire Yellow Tribe. I'm like, you guys exist.
I can't picture Christina in my mind.
She's the one who is afraid of birds.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I mean, Serena was afraid of stuff too, and she survived. She played 6 times by the time we're here next year. But I hope we can get more yellow content because until right now, I didn't realize
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, we got a long way to go.
Who wins Vee's Knees Award this episode? Which seems to be like who is the most athletic or looks like they can sustain the most. Who did we see that was impressive athletically? Was it just Jake?
It's just Jake.
Pretty much.
I think Jake for now, but that may change.
I mean, Rizzo, that comeback was crazy.
Using the body to there you go. And
Alex gets the anti-Vee's Knees award because he just blew that lead like crazy.
Yes.
Who's getting voted out?
We could call it.
Probably
I mean,
Annie.
if it was the Blue Tribe, I'm going to say Annie. And if it's the other tribes, I don't know. We haven't really seen enough of the dynamics for me to.
It ain't going to be Rizzo, and it's not going to be Savannah.
Yeah.
All season.
It's a pretty safe bet. Pretty safe bet.
I think I won't pick either one of them to get voted out until maybe final 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the earliest. Because Tiffany from 46 is the earliest boot on 50, and she got 8th place.
Yeah, I don't see unless one of the two of them gets voted out in some fashion that has never happened, and it comes at a great tribal like.
They're definitely making merge. There's no way that whatever happens to them, whatever happens to them, is not going to be crazy enough to offset the fact that they didn't make the merge.
Yeah. So I would say Annie. If it's on any other tribe, one of the
especially Yellow,
a Sophie.
Yeah.
The other Sophie. Yeah.
The other Sophie. But thank you all for tuning in for our first episode of the 49 recap. It's great to be back with both of these folks. Like I said, it feels like forever. I'm really excited to see how this goes. I'm really excited to be covering this with both of you. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, Mucky Hub Productions. it would help out a lot. Make sure that Vee is doing Amazing Race.
Amazing Race Australia Celebrity Edition. That is on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, except next week where it will be on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So,
and I think that's everything we're covering so far.
That's everything for now.
That's on the network. So thank you all, and we will see you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.